is something that is on a partially unconscious level. And so you're speaking with the audience. If there's 2,000 people out there, like there have been at my recent shows, you have a tremendous responsibility. So you're faced with a kind of meditation where you realize that people have spent their money and their time to be there to listen to you. Yeah. So yes, it does enter into your spiritual
path. And can you draw from them as theater performers say?
Always. That happens every night. You know, sometimes I give what I have out, and then it comes right back at me times 10. And then I can take that times 10 and give it back, and that's how you build a show.
And then you have communion.
Well, communion, right. That's what it is.
Yeah. The Washington Post, Jeffrey Hearn said, Hedges succeeds because his jazz instrumentals were always rooted in folk forms and because he supported himself singing in bars while he studied classical guitar.
Yeah, it was a Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde sort of existence. Yeah. I studied 20th century music and classical guitar and electronic music during the day. And then from 9 p.m. to 2 a.m., I would be out in some neighborhood bar strumming away.
Earning a little bread.
Yeah, and it became very vital to my existence to play, and that's how I learned how to hold a crowd. I'm kind of glad that I didn't start out in the concert circuit with a captive audience. I had to...
You had to learn how to hold the crowd.
That's what you call it.
And what did you learn?
Well...
In terms of holding the crowd?
You don't ever exclude them from a show. You don't put up that wall. You give out, and whatever's to be brought back, you bring that back and use it over again, like we were just saying. But it's sort of a dedication that you learn. Playing night after night is that you just learn, don't give up. Play or die.
Play or die. This is it.
That's my motto.
And that's your motto? Play or die?
It's actually a jazz saxophonist, Anthony Braxton's motto. And I've been lately, when guitar players come up to me, and they seem like maybe they're in a rut, all right, play or die, don't give up.
Is that the way you feel about it?
Well, not such a negative.
No, I mean in a positive way.
Yeah, I think that determination is probably the reason why I have succeeded so far.
Determination?
Yeah.
Meaning that there are a lot of people with equal talent who didn't succeed because they didn't have the same determination?
It's that old thing, 10% inspiration, 90% perspiration.
Yeah. There was one critic in the New York Times who noted after one of your concerts that you seem to be the artistic descendant of folk-oriented and distinguished stylists like Dante and Leo Kottke, who you play with.
Yeah, I'm on tour currently with Leo Kottke, and we're going all over the country. I feel like he's my big brother that I never had, and so, yeah, I am a descendant of some of that folk forms. And as the Post says, my jazz solos are having folk form. But on the other hand, though, I've had a real strong rock background. And ever since, the Beatles and The Who with Tommy and Jimi Hendrix. So I feel like I'll probably move into more electric and rock forms. But
we'll move into more electric and rock forms.
Yeah. And at the same time, though, I went to a conservatory of music, so I feel like I'm kind of rooted in Stravinsky, Webern.
It's said another way. I don't want to be found too sort of highfalutin when I don't really know. But, I mean, is it your musicality is established because you went to the conservatory, and so therefore it gives you a base that you can do whatever you want to?
Well, I feel kind of like I'm a tree, and there's no reason why. Well... Hopefully a tree of life, but the thing is that your roots grow at the same time as your branches do. Yeah. So I feel like even though people say, where are your roots? I say, well, I'm kind of feeling around still. I don't know exactly where they're going, but a tree's roots tend to spread all around as well. And that's what I like about my education is that I did go to a conservatory, I did play at bars, I did, grow up in Oklahoma and listen to rock music, and I listened to folk music. So there's no reason why in such a small world today that you can't spread your roots around the world.
I was struck by the notion of, I don't know if you watch, I don't think you ever watch much television, but, during the Olympics, they take these figure skaters, and they judge them on artistic interpretation and also technical virtuosity.
Mm-hmm.
Which of those two components in guitar playing is your strongest suit?
Well, I think that it's good to keep them in balance.
Yeah.
sometimes it leans one way toward more my intellect, and sometimes it leans toward my heart. And it's that thing. You can't really separate your heart and mind, or your technical virtuosity or your interpretation. It's something that you have to keep in balance with one another.
You feel strongly, look, I've paid my dues, right?
Well, I think dues is the minute you think you've paid your dues, then there's a whole back years of dues to pay.
Yeah.
So
But I guess the question I'm looking for, and I guess a lot of other people who admire your music is, so where does Michael want to go?
Well, right now, I'm thinking about making an instrumental record next, along the line of my last instrumental record, but more expanded. Then I'll go on and do a rock record.
Yeah.
And in the meantime, I'll be practicing producing.
Yeah.
I like to produce. And I, at some point, would like to write for chamber ensembles and maybe have some of my music lying around waiting for people to play, after I'm gone.
After you've departed the scene. Yeah. How was Carnegie Hall?
Carnegie Hall, I feel like, served a purpose in my career, and it built up my self-confidence quite a bit to where I can say, okay, well, I've explored the steel string guitar, and I can feel good about going off in other directions now and not feel like I've spread myself too thin.
How many instruments do you play?
Well, 25. That is, I have about five acoustic guitars that I really love to play, but they're all kind of different.
Yeah.
Even though my main instrument, I would say just guitar, really.
Yeah.
But
Well,
I also play the flute, and I play keyboard, and I play bass guitar and electric guitar, and then I have a number of different synthesizers that I like to program. Well, I used to fool around a little bit with clarinet and some reed instruments, but not anymore.
You are some kind of talent. Listen, thank you very much. It's a pleasure. Nice to have you. Really is. Good luck. You'll be at the Warner Theater in Washington. You'll be moving around the country. Watch out for him.